Hey everybody, Kenny here. So today I just want to kind of reintroduce people to the game Hero Siege, and the reason I'm doing this is because not very long ago I decided to boot this game up for the first time in many years and discovered, to my massive surprise, that over the years, the developers have turned this into a completely different game than it was when it first came out. When Hero Siege first was released, it was a twin-stick shooter where you had an assortment of classes you could pick from to kind of like mow through these procedurally generated areas, and each of the areas, you do them in a particular order. So there was kind of like an act structure to it, but it was completely like a roguelike, a roguelite really, because you had skill trees, and you would get to keep the skill trees if the character died. But at some point, the developers decided to turn it into a full-blown Diablo-like. Let's pick the Viking, just to kind of show what I'm referring to.
I hunger for carnage.
Yeah, so they have crazy things like that they've always said since the very beginning, but a huge thing that's very different about this game that I'm sure anyone who played this game at launch is probably very confused about what they're seeing right now, because yes, there are waypoints and a map, and you can see all of the areas that make up the act structure of the game. Now there is an area over here that I don't have access to, since I guess this was added after I originally played the game. I have around 70 hours in this game, majority of which was back when this game first came out. So I had beat the game with a few of the different characters, which at the time only went up to here, to fight Damien, and then that was the end of the game. So I guess they added some more bosses, I guess, to the game, which is what these areas here are. But the point of why I'm showing this, you can kind of see that I have waypoints unlocked from here to here, and then these are all blank, exception of the hub towns. And the reason for that is because they decided that, whatever reason, I'm not really sure why they did this, but they decided that players who had played through the game with through the original game and had completed, certain boss challenges in that version of the game should count as having made act progress. So this is kind of Act 1 is from this one up to, I guess, the Pyramid Level 2 here. And I guess this is Act 2. It's from here up to Damien over here. Or I don't know, maybe they count from the purple, that maybe that like up to purple is Act 1, up to this purple is Act 2. And then I don't have the other purples unlocked because I've only just started messing around with this game in its current iteration. I don't have access to other ones yet, and so the acts are actually counted differently. I don't know how it actually works now. All I know is that I really want to show how crazy a change they've made to this game for anyone who originally played it. You can see that again, the relics are still here. They still have, this used to be the kind of progression system in the game, was that you'd go out into the world, you'd You know, like it was like a whole roguelike thing where, you know, like different things would randomly get you a different relic, and each of the relics had special things they would do. But now, since it's an actual RPG, a lot of the relics do things like the Rusted Cube, where it just increases stats, instead of being stuff like the Cactus or the Rice and Chopsticks or the Satan's Tooth. You know, like where it's like an actual, like what you would expect as like upgrades you'd find in a roguelike, like Binding of Isaac or something of that sort. Let's just show the like. There's actually a full gear system, a full Diablo style gear system, where you have your accessories, helmet. You can wear a main hand and an offhand, or one big two-hander that takes up that spot that, you know, does more damage but gives you less utility options. There is also a you can get items that have sockets in them, and then when you're equipped with an item that has sockets in it, you can go and put gems in the sockets. The full-on Diablo style upgrading, like with the gear system. You have your skill tree still, but like, you know, they, instead of having like one big skill tree, each class has it broken up into like 2 separate skill trees. But you still have it where, yeah, like a lot of the skills that you can invest in are passive skills that make it that when you're doing your auto attacking, that like various things can happen. Which, you know, like this isn't really a good character for that, because with the Berserker, the stuff I have invested in, this just makes it that you can use this skill more often. I don't really have any passives that like do anything interesting with this character. I just wanted to kind of show, like, you know, that how big a change they have here, where like you actually have, you know, like a town full of NPCs that, you know, you can actually go and like talk to, like the one that has whichever NPC has the little gold pouch or whatever town you're in. Like, this isn't like a normal vendor. Instead, like, what you can do is you can craft items using whatever you have access to. And since, like in the original game, the gold and stuff that you would accrue throughout the game, well, you know, like it was a roguelike game, so you pick this stuff up for the purpose of, if you happen to run into a vendor to get more relics from, that's why you got these things. But for whatever reason, they decided to make it that, you know, you got to keep all of that money. So, like, I have like a bunch of money and the crystals, and you can go to these guys and just craft up gems and accessories and items. So I can just go and like I craft up so I just crafted up this belt right here. That's a heavy belt, and now it's got stamina, cooldown reduction, and magic resistance on it. So, you know, you have like these vendors that, you know, like you can go and get gear from. Oh, but, you know, like just like any other Diablo, like all the enemies drop loot. Yeah, this is an actual full RPG. This is wild. Absolutely crazy, insane what they did with this game. Let me go and switch to a different character just to kind of show, like, for people who haven't played Hero Siege, just want to like show like how crazy the upgrade system that works in this game. The people who played it originally recall just how nuts the procs are. So this is a character that has a lot of procs set up on him. So if I just start attacking, you see that little like jumping bomb thing. I go here, you can see that I have a chance to ricochet my shots, a chance to make it that my auto attacks are multi-shots instead of single strikes. I have a passive that makes my single targets, penetrate enemies. I have one that makes it that I have a chance to cause my attack damage and movement speed to get boosted. Yeah, and then I have, on top of all of this passive stuff, I have actual skills. So this game goes absolutely crazy go nuts with the way everything is set up. So now that I have kind of like shown like all like the weird little things that they've done, I'm gonna show I think the pirate. Because like the pirate, I always felt was the. I felt the pirate was actually the strongest character in the game, and for whatever reason, I could swear this was like the first character I ever beat the game with. But if I check the waypoint, like this character doesn't like is only up to this part here. I'm not sure why. Because like I said, I'm almost positive this was like the first character I ever beat the campaign with. So, or what could be considered the campaign. I'm just going to like show the ridiculousness of this game for anyone who like either has never heard of this game or hasn't played this game in many years and didn't realize how crazy that the devs have altered it over the years. There's a whole quest system now. So each act has... each of the acts has their own quests in it that the NPCs give you. There's mining. Like, it is ridiculous, all the stuff they've added to this game. You can find secret items spread around. Just like in the original, like you still have the various idols. So I've been cursed to have my movement speed reduced now. But unlike the original, like the curses and the blessings actually have a cooldown on them. So this isn't a permanent thing. You can see down there on the UI, I have 40 seconds left with my speed reduction.
step closer to finding the
Like certain veins require higher mining levels. So you actually build up your mining skill as you're utilizing mining in the various acts.
Where can I stash my booty?
You can also respec whenever you feel like it. So instead of using these ridiculously powerful skills I'm using right now, I'll go and reset everything so that I'm using the bird instead. I'll get the bird up to 10, then I'll upgrade its damage further. And let's get buckshot. Let's fully invest in those. Yeah, the bird was always nonsense powerful. Although, like, they've changed the way it works because like anyone who played the original may remember that like it used to be that the parrot was like a giant bird that would show up. And of course, I'm completely obliterating everything here because this character is much higher level than this area since, like as I mentioned, for whatever reason, they decided to just make it that players could, like everything they did with the previous version of the game, like transferred over to this version of the game. Even though, like those two versions of the game were essentially completely different games entirely. For whatever reason, it counts. Yeah, since I've completed those quests, I can go back to the town.
Climbing ropes is in my blood.
As with anything, like you show up, you turn in your quests, you get your rewards. Sometimes they'll give you new quests. And sometimes new quests will pop up when you complete the other quests. But like this one here, he gives you this this specific relic that gives you an actual skill that you can use. So with that one, we can see that little electric bolt you see. Like that actually, like you need to hit enemies with that. A certain number of enemies with it. Now switch her skills again. This time I'll do a full passive build for her. So get explosive barrel. 1 buckshot to be able to get to cannonball here. And some powder trail. So now when we use our regular attack, lots of fun stuff happens. Like honestly, the passives are actually the thing that I always loved when I would play this game.
Make way, the treasure's mine. Climbing ropes is in my blood.
You're seeing we have a completely different style now. And if you don't like the like the attack animation of what I'm doing right now, once again, this is a Diablo-like. So like this weapon isn't actually like I'm wearing this because it's a very strong weapon, but I can switch over to this pistol here. I can switch to this bow here, and the game won't consider them any different. I thought that the like the shotgun is a little more thematic for the pirate, but. You have mimics that can pop up while you're out in the world. Okay, this time I got a speed buff instead of a speed curse. It is absolute wonderful nonsense.
one step closer to finding the treasure.
Yeah, so, I mean, so if this is a game that you played in the past and you weren't aware of the ridiculous amount of updates that have come up for it, then I highly recommend loading it back up. If you've never played this game before and like what you're seeing is something that you definitely want to try out for yourself, then I highly recommend it. Like, this game very often goes on sale for super cheap. Like, I think I remember buying it for all of my friends for like $1. I mean, not like $1 for all of them, but you know, like I spent $1 to get this game for each friend. And as I mentioned, this is a game that I put in around 70 hours into when it was just a roguelike. But yeah, it's a good amount of time for a game like that. But as a full RPG now, like this is a absolute buy. I mean, I can't even imagine telling someone that they shouldn't try this game out. Unless, you know, like you don't like twin shooters type games. Although, like, if I'm being honest, I did prefer like when each character had their own like personal weapon. I did prefer that. Like, cause you know, like, it's neat that that you have like all kinds of weapons that you can like have these characters equipped now. Like, that's neat and all. But like when it was a specific weapon that was tailored to each character, like it felt like if the attacks felt better then. Because when you start the game, you actually start barehanded. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, so you actually start off barehanded. So even though, like, I think the idea of a pirate who punches and causes bombs to explode everywhere from punching is absolutely awesome. Like, it is sillier than it was probably intended to be. But yeah, but there are so many classes in this game, and all of them have like truly unique class identity. The only one that I kind of don't like is the Necromancer. I used to really like the Necromancer, but all of the good stuff in the Necromancer's kit is really low on their. It's like really low, because I think all of their stuff used to be just the curse stuff. Like, I don't even remember there being minions for this character before. But having like the homing souls and the vengeful spirits, like that kind of thing. I remember that being a big part of like this character before, but like now, like they feel weird. So like, like if you like focus on like the poison stuff, then like it doesn't feel as strange. Like, but like if you actually try doing like the minions, then like it doesn't feel like it works with this style. So like this is like the only one of the characters that I feel like, probably like if you decide to pick this up or if you decide to go back to this game, like this is one that I kind of don't recommend trying unless you just want to do it as a full caster and not as a minion master, because the minion master stuff just does not feel good. But aside from that, I mean, this is a super cool game now. Like I said, like I wouldn't have put in as many hours as I did before if I didn't enjoy the old version. But now, like, this is just absolute like master class in in like this style here. But yeah, like a huge recommendation on this. Definitely pick it up if you are interested. If you don't want to spend more than a couple bucks, like I said, like it goes like every time I've ever seen it on sale, it's always been super cheap, so you're not really losing out on anything other than your time if you decide to like really hard invest in this game. Right. Oh, and also there's also like you know, because it's like the highest level character I have was like level like 50 something. Like there's actually like a kind of, I guess, like a Paragon system that they added also. It doesn't unlock until you reach level 100. Yeah, so that you can go really, really hard on this game. As with that said, if there's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. If you enjoyed this video, then I appreciate doing all the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, Vei Victus, Virus Lumeris, and bye.